Hello everybody, welcome to Bitcoin Daily, 9 a.m. Central European Time on the dollar. We do the show every day, Monday to Friday, because we gotta know what's happening in Bitcoin, altcoins, and why did I sell 70% of my portfolio, spot portfolio. Yes guys, I sold 70%. There is panic in the Telegram chat right now. Not right now, but yesterday there was panic in the chat. He's selling, guys, it's over, we're going to zero. It's nothing like that, so I'm gonna explain a little bit, what's actually happening with that. So I know a lot of people are interested in, why did I sell, 70% of my portfolio, what's happening, are you crazy? I mean, we are in bull market, no pullbacks like Masa, no pullbacks, so, we're gonna talk about that. Also, I changed my TA. As you can see on the chart, there is no longer a 100 moving average on the chart. And that 100 moving average is, I'll explain about that as well. Why did I remove 100 moving average on the chart? The chart, the 100 moving average, support resistance lines, moving averages, and for 6 straight years that I've been doing TI, like the 100 moving average, it's so insignificant that it really doesn't matter whether you have it on the chart or not. You sold 70%. Yeah, I sold 70% of my portfolio, but there is no panic, guys. There's still no panic. I'm gonna explain to you why. It wasn't a panic sell. I can tell you that. It wasn't a panic sell. It was calculated, technically calculated sell, and I kind of needed to do this because yeah, we're gonna come back to that. What more are we gonna talk about? We're gonna talk about S&P 500, the stock market, the DXY. We're gonna talk about risk management because yesterday Shiba pumped like 10%. I'm actually 100% into trading right now, and I'm looking at charts. Yesterday I was actually up very, very late watching 5-second charts, trying to trade, Shiba Inu up here, at the top over here, trying to short and stuff like that. Takes write-off, you genius. It's a little bit late for takes write-offs. I don't know how these things works, but definitely into trading right now. So we're gonna talk a little bit about trading, about this move that Shiba Inu is doing. And I also been shorting a little bit on Bitcoin over here. So there is that. But we're gonna talk about risk management because people are telling me watch the how much risk you're taking, too much risk and stuff like that. And I got my ideas when it comes to that. So we're gonna talk a little bit about risk management as well and what I found out. That said, guys, how you guys doing? Who's in the chat? GLM first, how you doing, man? Good morning. XRP Legend, what's up? Tyler likes W to pop in to say a busy day. Thanks for stopping by, man. Are we millionaires yet? XRP Legend says. Well, you're gonna become a millionaire. I'm not gonna become a millionaire. I sold. A day, greetings to Mladen is in the chat, waiting for explanation. Mr. Morning, this beautiful morning. Yeah, it's actually quite nice morning. It's a little bit chilly here in Norway, but it's very nice. It's actually very nice. The morning is actually very nice. Kids are out of the house, wife is out of the house, so there is that. And I sold 70%, but my wife, who has more money in crypto than me, has not sold anything yet. So there is that. So, when we come to the top, you can be sure that both my wife and me will be selling. That's going to be 100% the case. I mean, we are definitely not at the top right now, but it's calculated sell. We gotta know. Morning is very. It's noon, lol, who's panicking? Well, Wesley panicked and, sold after me, so there's that. And Mladen also told me that I could, make a, video, I sold 70%, to get clicks on YouTube. And I was actually thinking about making a video yesterday, I sold 70% and, giving some kind of explanation. But I kind of didn't want to do that because, people might actually follow me like Wesley did and sell their portfolio. And this thing has, good chance to pump, guys. This thing has good chance to pump. I'm not saying that it cannot pump. I'm just saying that, you're gonna see what I'm saying, but it has good chance to pump. It has a good chance to pump. So I don't want people, to follow me and, start selling or whatnot. And then, we pump and like, oh, you were wrong, I sold and, I missed the, big bull market rally and whatever, right? So it's not like that. When I actually sell, when I feel like we are at top or something like that, I'm going to say, guys, I sold everything, whatever, right? But right now, it's nothing like that. But we are going to 40K. Yeah, I sold 70, but we are going to 40K. I'm definitely gonna FOMO back in, guys. Don't worry about me. I'm gonna. There is definitely levels that once we break those levels and I see some kind of invalidation of whatever I think is gonna happen, I'm gonna FOMO back in. it's not a big deal, guys. I'm gonna lose a couple of percentages here and there. Like, it's just start of the bull market, guys. It's just start of the bull market over here, right? I mean, it's a calculated sell because it's not like I'm selling over here and then I'm gonna FOMO up here somewhere and, you know, continue and then miss everything. Like, it's nothing like that, right? If I FOMO up here and I see some kind of calculation up here, whatever, right? You know, just, you know, FOMO back in up here and, you know, continue. I mean, you technically lose nothing, right? Technically lose nothing. So there is that. What's up? Got your favorite subscriber now. Definitely. Good morning, Tila. Hello, hello, DD. Your dog buying the deep. Took some profits on 22.9. Rest is still flying. Next target 21k. Damn, John, how you doing, man? Yeah, so me got, you know, Crypto Savvy and me got Crypto Savvy and Garrett Soloway are now best friends. You're still about to sort. Yeah, it's actually, yeah, I'm telling you guys, it is a calculated move, it is a calculated sell, and it is a kind of test for what's gonna happen next. I'm gonna explain to you what I mean. Do what you gotta do, teach them. So there you go, me and Garrett Soloway best friends now. One does not simply remove 100 MA. Well, I waited very long time to remove 100 MA, but you know, I actually removed. It is the most useless moving average on the chart. I'm telling you, like 6 years I have not used, you know, 100 MA for anything, you know, specific. Sometimes it does use as a support resistance line, and sometimes it does bounces off of that line. But it's such a useless moving average, such a useless, you know. Okay. So right now I have, you know, one less line on the chart, which I'm actually very happy with. Garrett Soloway, you mean bearish 10k BT solo? Yeah. So me, Soloway, and Crypto Savvy are right now, you know, best buddies. So there's that. There's a guy called Crypto Informant who just copies and pastes other content, should be banned. Ah, probably, there is a lot. I also saw, for example, one Russian guy who literally takes the same content from, you know, some other guy and, you know, dubs the you know, videos in Russian language and then posts as his own, right? And he making, you know, thousands of views. So there is that. So let's talk about why did I sell the why did I sell 70% of my portfolio, and what did I actually sell? So I actually sold 3 coins, and I already regret it, guys. I can tell you I already regret it because I sold 3 coins: Ape coin, Mana, and can you guess which is the 3rd coin I sold? I'm gonna give you, you know, a couple of seconds to, you know, write in the chat which is the coin, the 3rd coin that I sold that I already regret selling. Nobody? It is Shiba Inu. Yeah, Max, Shiba, exactly, Shiba. So Shiba pumped, like, you know, right after I sold like 10%. No, Shiba, you know, it gotta be Shiba, yeah. So I sold Shiba as well down here, right? Maybe just before, yeah, just before the pump, like over here. Literally over here, something like that. Might be a little bit before that, something. No, it was 8-9. So right over here I sold Shiba Inu. The thing is, I wasn't looking that much at the chart, and you know, this move up here towards upside is you know, something like 15-20% move towards upside. So you can say, oh man, you sold, you know, missed 20% pump. So I'm a little bit like, you know, Jim Cramer right now, selling just before the pump. He sold his shares in Norwegian Salmon. So you know, I'm a little bit like Jim Cramer right now, selling just before the pump. That said, I'm still, you know, it still doesn't matter, and I'm definitely gonna come back into the market if I see some kind of other move. If I see, you know, Bitcoin continuing, you know, a bullish trend towards the upside. How far is it gonna go? I don't know how far it's gonna go, and that's actually a question. I was actually shorting this here at the topic, you know, trading shorting, not actually shorting down to 0, but I will say, you know, it did pull back all the way to 10 moving average. Right now it's curving up here. It could do another move up here. This looks to me like a stand smack hug dump pattern over here. It does look like a little bit weak, but yeah, you know, I sold. Now the reason I sold these 3 coins, Apecoin, Mana, and Shiba Inu, is because they were all on the same exchange. It was like 70% of my portfolio, so I wanted this Apecoin and Mana were in profit, so you know, there's that. When it comes to, you know, when I bought these things over here, it was, you know, down at the bottom up here in June. So I bought literally, like, I think I bought like 80% of my coins up here. So you can see up here that there were definitely, you know, moves down here that happened, and I could have bought, you know, cheaper. And for example, if when it comes to Apecoin over here, ApeCoin was very nice buy up here, you know, so it didn't go much lower than that. I actually bought down here, right? It didn't go actually much lower than that. It continued up here towards upside, so I'm, good, amount up on ApeCoin. And when it comes to Mana, where is Mana up here? Mana, you'll see that I actually managed to, do not that well when it comes to Mana. This is May, this is July. I bought down here, and you can see up here I was just barely in profit. I think it was like 8% in profit or something like that when I sold up here, so just barely in profit. Like this move up here towards downside, I was hodler, guys. I was hodler, in panic. Oh no, and I was down on my Mana something like 60%. But that's kind of the stuff that happens when you come to the bottom. You don't actually, it's very hard to predict where the exact bottom is. So people often dollar cost average when it comes to the bottom. And when we came down to July towards the bottom, I said, okay, now's the time to dollar cost average. I never proposed dollar cost averaging up here, guys. I never proposed. I was even saying people to stop listening to these YouTubers saying dollar cost average, like Crypto Rusk. Is it up here dollar cost average? No, up here it's not dollar cost average time. Dollar cost average time is when you get to the bottom and then you start dollar cost averaging, because you don't actually know where the exact bottom is. I mean, you can try to predict the exact bottom, and we try to do that often, but when it comes to to big money and stuff like that, they just try to average down every dip up here, and they will get some kind of average up here, that they're gonna be happy with, and then it continues going towards upside, and they're very happy with their buying, right? So dollar cost averaging at the bottom, that's the case. Don't dollar cost average when you get to euphoria on top, and so forth, so forth. So I sold ApeCoin in profit, I sold Mana in, give or take, and my Shiba, up here was actually, I, FOMO'd in up here at the top somewhere over here, of course, because I was stupid, and then it went down. I was like, it's gonna come back up. Of course, it went down, and right now it's coming back to those levels, but, I sold with loss, and I was like, it's okay, 10% loss, it doesn't matter. There is 2 more years of the bull market. It's gonna be okay, guys. It's not like I'm gonna stay out of the market forever. It's a calculated sell. So those 3 I sold, it's like 70% of my account, and the rest that's not sold, like it's on other exchanges, it's on other wallets, and I was like, I'm just gonna leave that there. So there is that. So it's not like I'm selling everything. I'm out of the market, it's game over. It's nothing like that. Pullback is coming at what price? So Bitcoin will pullback come through. So whether the pullback will come or not, I don't know. But here's the thing, guys. I was sitting yesterday and seeing the same similarities in the price that's happening right now that happens often at some kind of tops. So in the start, what happens is nobody believes you, right? Nobody believes that we are in the bull market. Nobody believes this is going towards upside up here. This is the first move towards upside. I remember up here at 20k when we started going towards upside up here, nobody actually believed this legit move. It's gonna get rejected by 20k, and then it started getting rejected, and then did this big move up here once we broke the 20k, and then people started FOMOing up here, right? This was the first FOMO move up here, because up to 20k people didn't believe. Even I up here thought that we gotta go a little bit lower down here because of the CME gap. Fortunately, by this move up here towards the upside, I was like, okay, I'm bull now. So I didn't, and I bought down here somewhere, right? I bought down here somewhere. So even this move up here, even I was kind of waiting to turn a little bit bullish because of the CME gap down here, the CME gap. So even I was waiting to turn a little bit bullish. So oftentimes people who don't read charts, who don't understand what's happening and stuff like that, they often miss these first moves because they just don't understand what's happening, right? They don't see that trend changes and stuff like that. So they're very, very bearish, right? And they're saying, no, it's gonna pull back, oh, it's gonna go up. And then it comes to 40,000 and pull back, it starts pulling back down. Oh, it's already finished. So, they don't want to FOMO him up here because it went too fast, and then it starts going towards upside up here rapidly and continues above 50, and then they start FOMOing. So you can see up here at the top, this is, when the huge amount of people started, FOMOing in, and that was pretty much the top, right? And that's often the case. So in the start of some kind of move, people are often in disbelief. They don't understand what's happening, and because they cannot draw. Most people can't draw the right lines. They don't understand what's happening, so they disbelieve. So we got to this first move down here. So we got this first move down here, and everybody, it's gonna go down. But we said, no, it's just a dip by the dip, whatever, right? And then continue higher. But once it continues higher, right now the bullishness is too strong. Right now we are 23,000. We are even going high every time. We are going higher, higher. Yeah, like, you know, at what point are you gonna miss the, you know, move? And right now people are, you know, stupidly bullish and thinking that we are gonna go all the way up to 30k. And it might be the case that we're gonna go up to 30k, but it's the same kind of psychological move that's happening at every kind of, you know, significant top. Disbelief in the start, FOMO at the top, and hoping just one more move to 25k, just one less move to 30k. Yes, we're going to, you know, just a little bit more higher. And that psychological, you know, kind of thinking gets you always wrecked. Oftentimes when the price you use a lot of time to, you know, break these psychological levels, it might be distribution area. So I was thinking this is probably distribution area. This is probably distribution, but you know, that doesn't get me to sell, guys. That doesn't get me to sell. What got me to sell is that I was thinking, how am I gonna sell the top next time, guys? How am I gonna sell the top? Because I cannot be, you know, emotional when it comes to tops. We will come to the top one day, and we will have to sell the top, even though the charts seems that it can pop anytime, because that's the big problem. Let me show you up here on the chart. Up here, people are bullish because, you know, higher highs, you know, it can drop, it can, you know, pop anytime up to, you know, 80k. Anytime can pop to 80k. Like, it's just so close. Just one more move. It's so close. It needs to pop. It needs to pop. And then it breaks down. And then it goes towards up. Some people are still, it needs to pop, and then it breaks down even further. And this is the and this is what gets everybody wrecked. I was thinking about it, because when you start going up, you will start losing momentum towards the upside, right? You can see up here there was some kind of line up here. You know, we lost that first bullish momentum up here. This is, you know, the second momentum up here where we lost. You can also write that you know, say that this momentum up here got lost actually over here, but you know, you could see that these moves were getting weaker and weaker by the time, and by the time we came to this line up here and retested that line, we fell back down. But these momentum losses are already indicating that the move is losing strength towards the upside. So even though you have some kind of line up here and become super bullish and bounce off of that, it's really, you know, dangerous to have that kind of mentality, because it's gonna get you wrecked. And how do most people get wrecked at the top, guys? So here's the thing. People always think that, you know, stuff is gonna continue going towards the upside. And then what happens is that you lose very important level of support very fast. So up here, you know, people are still thinking, oh, it's gonna go up, and then you lose. But right now you don't want to sell at 50k because you were at 64k, like, you know, a week two ago, right? Right now, like, it's gonna come back up. It's gonna come back up, right? And it goes back up, and people are still having this hope that it's gonna go to, you know, continue towards the upside. And then you have this big fast move back below the support again, and then you're wrecked, right? Right now sitting at 34,000. So right now you not want to sell. Like, you're well, I'm not selling anymore, you know, there's that. And then there was this, you know, this bleed towards downside, whereas people start, you know, capitulating, and then we had the, you know, secondary move towards upside. I'm going to explain the secondary move of what happened. But this is basically what happens. People have a lot of hope that something is going to break towards upside, then you have a big move down. It's very fast. So oftentimes people think, yeah, when this breaks towards downside, you know, I'm gonna sell up here because, you know, the trend is broken, everything's gonna be fine. But by the time this actually starts happening, this move down goes very fast, and you have to actually panic sell when that time comes, which is actually quite a stupid thing to do, because panic sells often indicate, you know, this was a panic sell. Often you get some kind of pullback. So up here was the, you know, secondary time that you should actually be you know, selling. When people think, nah, it's gonna go up, because if it doesn't, you do this move. So when it comes to this chart over here, where did I sell? I did not sell top, guys. I sold actually over here, because I had the same kind of mentality last time. It's gonna go up, it's gonna go up, it's gonna go up. Even over here, it's gonna go up, it's gonna go up, it's gonna go up, and then does it. But once it did this move down here to the support, I was like, nope, I'm not doing this anymore. 49,000, 50,000, it's fine for me, whatever, and then continue bleeding towards the downside. But that's how people get wrecked. Now look what happened next time after we did the move towards the upside, right? We did the same thing, came up here to this double top up here. People again, you know, people who panic sold down here. People who, you know, capitulated over here, people who started, you know, continued panic selling down here, we are going down to zero immediately, right? All the people who got out of the market and, you know, became stupidly bearish over here. Even we said, you know, guys, this is bear market. Like we're trying to say this is gonna, you know, bounce up, you know, everything's gonna be fine, it's a dip, whatever. right? But at one point up here, we said, guys, this is actually a bear market. And of course, right after that, we start pumping towards upside. So as soon as people, turn bearish, it continues pumping towards upside. And it did continue pumping towards upside all the way up here to double top up to 69,000. And look what happened here, guys. You didn't have a pullback. So there was a trend over here towards upside. We had a double top up here. People are still saying, oh, it's gonna go to 80k again. Everybody's super bullish again. Everybody who sold, the bottom was up here, started FOMOing back in here at the top. And once that happens, we fell down over here. But people have been saying, this needs to, have a pullback up here where we retest the support. But this time around there was no pullback, guys. This continued just bleeding towards downside. People are hoping for this pullback back to triple top up here to 66k to sell, right? Because this time they FOMO'd in, but right now I'm not gonna sell over here. I'm gonna wait for a pullback and then do like over here. But stuff doesn't happen 2-3 times in a row to get you to sell. So what happened here, we kind of started bleeding towards downside and had the big big 4 December capitulation over here, immediate capitulation, and this just continued bleeding towards downside all the way down to 37k, right? So there was no pullback up here. There was literally no pullback up here that gets you to sell up here. And this is why people get wrecked, because these moves below the support goes very, very fast, and by the time it actually happens, you need to sell in panic towards downside. And then if you sell in panic, you can have pullback up here, you can go towards upside and so forth, so forth. So right now you understand that selling the top is not as easy as some people might think. It's a lot harder. It's a lot harder than it seems, because you have to have psychological you have to have some kind of psychological what am I gonna say, psychological strength tonight to sell at when the price is above support. You have to see that you have to see weakness in the price. You have to understand that people are a little bit too bullish, a little bit too euphoric. You have to understand that something is not right, and because if it drops fast, right? And by the time it drops fast, you're already down 21k. So you're no longer at 24k, down 21k. I'm not saying it's gonna drop. I'm saying that there is a probability it's gonna drop. I'm gonna show you on the chart. So I was thinking yesterday, you know what? I'm gonna take and I'm gonna show you the TA. I was thinking yesterday, let's do a test. It looks like it might drop. It is losing momentum. It is below where the support is. There was huge bearishness at the bottom. Right now there is huge bullishness. We managed to convince everybody that it's gonna go to 30k. We managed to convince everybody it's gonna go to 25k. Right now everybody's FOMOing. The first sign up here that something is wrong came with the bearish engulfing candle when they start selling. This is some kind of double top up here at the top over here. So there is huge bullishness up here, and people don't believe me when I'm a little bit bearish over here that we can have a dip down here. I wrote on Twitter that what if we have a dip that keeps on dipping? And this was actually a true statement, because I actually do think that, because what if you have a dip and then it continues dipping towards downside? What are you gonna do then? Because everybody wants to buy the dip right now. So if you actually dip down here, everybody buys the dip and it continues dipping, like that's gonna wreck a lot of people, right? So the way I was thinking was like, okay, let's sell 70% the portfolio. The worst thing that can happen is that we pump over here. Sure, I'll lose some gains. It is a calculated loss, because it is a spot. It's not like 10x leverage and stuff goes up 10% and you missed 2x. It's nothing like that. There are definitely coins that can be bought before the resistance is bought. I might be lose a little bit money, but let's try to sell the top this time. Let's see if I have emotional stability to sell the top, because right now nobody wants to sell top. It's down at support, man. It's gonna bounce any moment. That's what everybody's thinking. I don't understand. You can explain why you are selling. So people are saying that this is gonna bounce up here towards upside, right? We are at some kind of support, and I was like, let's sell over here and see if I'm right, because I do think that there is a good probability right now it's going to go down, and it's based on top was at 69k. So over here towards downside, do I think this can happen? Yes, I do think that it can happen, because there is just too many people that can think that we can go to 25k. And if you do go towards upside, I'm going to show you what level I'm going to back FOMO in again and what needs to happen. you know, that's fine. I'm gonna lose a little bit. But if I am right, that means that I will be able to sell the top next time. Because there will come a top next time. And I was like, let's do a test. Let's try to sell this top and be right about it. And then when the next top comes, like, we will be a lot more relaxed, you know, selling the top. When there is huge amount of euphoria, when everybody's saying price is gonna go to 500,000, 1 million, when everybody's saying, oh, this is just the start, you know, we need to be selling. We need to be selling. It means a live trade is needed. So when I actually start, you know, what needs to happen, I'm gonna explain on the chart, but that, you know, the way I see it, and nobody believed it first, then everybody, you know, FOMO'd in. Right now everybody thinks 25k, one more move towards the upside. We had three moves up here. One, this is the first, this is second, this is the third move up here. Every single move failed. There is loss of momentum. And the way I see, like, let's sell, let's try to selling for once in my life. Let me try to sell, because I'm a very emotional guy, guys. I'm a very, very emotional guy. So I was selling, I was thinking, like, let's try for once in my life to sell before it actually breaks the support. Let's figure it out how we can sell before it actually breaks the support. Because if it breaks support, it's like bam, right down, right? And then it might come right back up like over here and whatnot, right? But it, you know, we might buy the dip. We might buy the dip. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. There's probably go down, of course, but you can trade that. Yeah, of course I can trade that. But I told yesterday in the chat that it is not a panic sell. It's not like I'm, oh my god, we're gonna go down. It's nothing like that. It's more like calculated sell. Okay, let's sell right now because it looks weak. It's losing momentum. People are a little bit too bullish. There is probability to dump towards the downside. So let's sell and just hodl it and see what happens. You know, see what happens. Because I want to be one of those guys that, you know, don't panic sell. I would rather be that, you know, the best way to sell is when you are selling in euphoria, when you are, the price is just going up and you're like, oh, and you sell. That's the best time to sell. Yeah, that should be investment, right? Yeah, I mean, it is investment, but yeah, but it is, you know, and I'm probably, after this, I'm probably not gonna sell, once I buy in again, I'm probably not gonna sell until we're at next, you know, 2025 top or anything like that, but it is some kind of test. It is, there is no panic in this sell, you know, it is like a test to see whether I'm right in my projection, because, you know, I'm down on some coins over here because I bought, I bought in July, so I'm definitely down some altcoins, especially micro altcoins that are pumping always last. I'm definitely down on them, but really I don't care because everything's gonna pump eventually, and everything is gonna be up, right? So there is no buying and selling in my investment portfolio. But this is a test. There is no panic in this, and I feel sorry for Wesley that sold with me because it can definitely pump. Now, if it goes down, he will be thanking me, but there is that. It's still a good time to buy. It might be a good time to buy, and I'm not saying that you know buying is not realistic, but you know. So let's go to the TA and talk about, you know, what's happening on the chart that got me to see that we are, you know, a little bit, I wouldn't say bearish, but we are losing momentum, and that's the big thing, right? So the first move up here towards the upside lost momentum pretty fast up here, which was, you know, the parabolic move up here, you know, pretty much, you know, lost momentum. It started, you know, having extortion pattern towards the downside up here, pullback. This pullback up here is very nice. We call this pullback, you know, it's gonna break towards upside because a lot of people are still, you know, hugely bearish. And then it, you know, bounced up to, you know, 23,000 up here. And then it started doing this, you know, consolidation phase in an uptrend over here, give or take. Consolidation uptrend up here, and up here, you know, huge amount of bullishness kicked in, right? But momentum is still losing pace. Momentum is still losing pace, and when momentum is losing pace, you can see up here, even this move towards upside over here, where we bounce, we even broke that, you know, that momentum. So the momentum is losing pace, guys. The momentum is losing pace, and the line up here as well, give or take something like this. Even this line up here is losing momentum over here. You can see up here, you know, first we have a big impulsive move up, lost that momentum towards the side up here. Then we start going up here, you know, trying to climb the next trend over here, but we broke that, tried to get above it, failed. Continue up here, so we broke this momentum over here. So right now we have this bigger trend over here where we go something over sideways over here. You can see up here. And even this momentum broke towards downside. Then we came down here. You can see here, you can say that this is a test of that this momentum up here, right? We came down here, we came up to resistance, and we got rejected. Then over here we got rejected as well at the top up here. We're gonna, you know, zoom in here later. So we are definitely you know, getting rejected right now by this momentum over here. So what we have right now, just before we you know, go down, we have something like this line, give or take. I don't know if this line is already breaking or not. It might be something like this over here, give or take, where we're already below the line, or it might be something like this down here where we are not below the line, or it might be something like this. You can try, you know, you guys can try to, you know, make better line up here, maybe something like this over here. There we go. So there is this line up here, right? So if you start breaking this, you know, if you start right now, we are sitting on the support itself, but if you start losing this line, you know, momentum as well, this might actually you know, continue going towards downside. So, and there is also another line up here. So right now you see that momentum is slowly shifting towards downside. This still doesn't mean that you're going to fall down, but it is a worrying sign because there is huge amount of euphoria up here. You know, the momentum is you know, breaking towards the other side down here, and every time you are breaking the momentum right now, so it is losing pace. It needs to pump big time. We need to see some kind of big move before something's gonna happen. There is also another line that I was like, okay, so if it doesn't drop down, when will I FOMO back in? There is a very nice line up here. It goes something like this up here below these all of these lines, and you can see up here, you know, we had nice, you know, resistance up here. Over here we had a very nice support. Over here we had very nice resistance. Over here we tried to stay above the support, and right now we are back below that and have a very nice resistance. So I'm thinking, and you can see up here how we tried to make higher. We went down, did the same move over here that we did over here, but this move actually managed to get above the resistance over here at the top. But this one did not. So this one got above the resistance over here. This move did not. Got rejected 2 times. Back below the support, whatever that is. Rejected by that support. Fell down. Right now sitting on the support level over here. So I'm thinking a little bit like this. Okay, so this move over here failed. This double top up here failed to go higher. We went below the support and tried to get back into the whatever this line is. It kind of failed. We are right now sitting on the support over here, and we got right now sitting on the support down here. So we need to get above this line over here. That's gonna be something like, you know, 23, 24k. So I need to see some kind of move back about 24k, some kind of you know, support holding, some kind of bullishness in the market up here again, and I'm gonna buy again the 70k, guys. It's not gonna take much. It's not gonna take much. If that happens, you know, I might buy 70k again. Maybe a little bit higher up here. 24, 28. So you see, it is a calculate move. It is a small loss. But if my, you know, TA is right, and that's my job, guys. That's my job. You know, watching the charts, you know, figuring out the TA, you know, that's my job. And if I cannot sell the tops, like what kind of technical analysis am I, right? So we need to believe in something. We need to believe in our charts, and you know, we gotta put our money where our mouth is, right? And try to figure it out. So you can see up here, I will definitely, if this goes towards upside up here, back above the channel up here, maybe even starts breaking the resistance up here, you know, starts getting some nice supports. No problem. I found some kind of altcoin, ape coin, mana, sand, you know, some kind of metaverse coin, NFT coin, you know, BNB. You know, Phantom, okay, not Phantom, Phantom is up 200%, and I will buy back in. Zero problems. I won't miss the bull run, guys. I won't be bearish, you know, for a, and of course up here it might, you know, do a double move and then drop down. It's fine again, because hodling down, it's no problem for me right now. I still, you know, like I told you, my wife has, you know, hodling portfolio. I have a hodling portfolio, whatever, 30%. You know, if it falls down up here, it's still no problem whatsoever, because we are having, you know, long-term hodling until 2025, whatever that's gonna be, after, at least after the halving. You know, so stuff is low. It can get lower, I get that, but you know, stuff is low. It's a retail plan. Double bullish divergence on the 1 hourly, that played out. I was checking that out. There is definitely reasons why this can pump as well. So let me show you some kind of, so right now you know that, you know, momentum is kind of losing pace. This might be some kind of falling wedge down here, give or take. Might be either a channel or a falling wedge, right? And this is definitely a nice chance to pump up to the 50 moving average, maybe even up all the way up here to, you know, 23, 6, 7, 8 up here, you know, to these stops up here. Right now I'm looking at this support might actually hold, get us, you know, bullish and then drop down, or it might hold and then continue towards upside. I don't know. But there is definitely this bullish falling wedge, and like Mlana says, there is double divergence. There was double divergence on the charts. There is no more double divergence. So from this point to this point overall, I don't know if you can see it. Let's zoom in a little bit up here to bottoms. From these two levels, there was divergence up here, and from these two levels also, this go towards the upside up here. No, he's looking at these two levels. Yeah, so over here I wouldn't say there was divergence up here, and this part over here there is also no divergence. I think there are there are three moves up here, because pivot point, then a pivot point, and a secondary pivot point up here. 1, 2, 3, 4 points up here, right? 4 pivot points on the chart. And these pivot points, these divergences are calculated by the pivot points, at least the way I analyze the chart. So this is divergence. It went up. Even this move towards upside up here, I was thought this is gonna get rejected. I was pretty right on that as well. It got rejected up here at the top. It went down to the bottom. Right now we are getting this bottom up here below down there, and the big question is, can we break this towards upside? Because this is a falling wedge over here right now, so this move towards upside is it can actually happen. But there is you know, it doesn't matter what happened with the divergences here in the past. It's only this last divergence that's actually, you know, important, and over here there is no divergence right now. There is something better though, something very, very bullish, and that's the bullish 4-hourly. No, 4-hourly doesn't have divergence up here, but 4-hourly on the RSI, I don't know guys, this looks to me like explosive shoe pattern on the RSI over here, and this thing might actually pump towards upside if you just watch the RSI. But there was on the daily time frame. Was it on daily time frame? Yeah, daily time frame. So on the daily time frame we might just get a bullish hidden bullish divergence. So this is going towards upside, and the RSI is going technically towards the downside over here, a little bit towards the downside, right? So we have bullish divergence up here, but we need to drop something like how much down? If we drop anything below, you know, 2.3, 2.4%, this will go down. There will be no divergence, so forth. But right now there is slight divergence up here on the chart. And if you drop down a little bit more, there is even higher divergence, and then, you know, divergence is anywhere between these two levels, right? So we can go down, for example, to 20 moving average, something like that, create a divergence, hit the 20 moving average, and then go towards upside. It's definitely happening. That can definitely happen. So there is some kind of, you know, when it comes to divergence, but I wouldn't, you know, bet that much on the divergences. Best friend is in the chat. Gort. Yeah, my best friend is in the chat. So you can see down here also we have MACD on the daily is turning bearish a little bit. It still haven't broken, you know, major support levels. We are on the support. We have not broken the support. So I'm selling the support. But I'm not actually selling the support. I'm selling the euphoria. I'm selling the bullishness. I'm selling all the people that are saying just one more move up, we're gonna pump. They might be right. They might be right. I'm not saying they're not right. But I'm just selling to see if I have what it takes, you know, to sell some kind of top next time. Is Mira spreads in Bible not very good, almost as bad as a QQ, if not worse? I don't know. On low volatility coins, there are, you know, the spreads are always bad, but, you know, the spreads should be worse during the weekend than, you know, Monday, Tuesday and stuff like that. Bro, just buy the dip if you believe what you say. Yeah, I mean, I'm definitely gonna buy the dip, but there is no dip. There is no dip yet. If I believe, if there is something that I believe, you know, we drew the line like this over here, but, you know, it might be this line over here as well. You know, there might be there are a lot of support level that needs to break, right? So we're not quite there yet, But, you know, if it comes to, you know, some kind of dip over here, I see some kind of, you know, bullishness, whatever, you know, we definitely. And, you know, even if you look at down here at, for example, RSI, we are down on some kind of 68 levels down here. On the weekly time frame, we are not overextended. We are only at 58. stuff like that. 2-day time frame, we are a little bit up here at 70 something, so we can definitely pull back. I don't know, it has the room to pull back. It could also pump if we are strongly bullish. We are strongly bullish, but you know, the mainstream is strongly bullish, so you know they're hoping, you know, it's going to continue pumping. So that's what keeping me a little bit on the bait. So guys, the 70% move, I'm sorry I said anything, but I was thinking like, if I don't say anything and then later say, hey guys, I bought the dip, you know, with the 70% I sold at 24k, I was like, you know, people will be like, hey, why didn't you say anything, man? Why didn't you say anything? So, you know, so there is that. So there is that. Thoughts on SHIB? I sold SHIB yesterday before the pump. Don't ask me about SHIB. But so the question is, will I tell you guys next time? And I will tell you when we have some kind of top and sell. But you know, these intermediate buys and sell, I will just keep for myself, because I see that a lot of people are, you know, they follow very fast, and I might be wrong. So there is that. But when I do sell my portfolio, I will tell you that I sold my portfolio. Okay, so there is that. When I sell my portfolio at some kind of top, I will tell you, right? But these, you know, mini pumps and dumps, like you said, mini pumps are these, you know, these intermediate sells, these I don't know what to call them, right? I'll just keep for myself, because every time I say something, you know, people can actually react a little bit badly, and it's not the best thing to do, not the best thing to do. So next time I sell like, you know, 70-80% of my portfolio, I'm like, I have a reason not to tell you. Sell SHIB just a few minutes before the pump as well. Yeah, exactly, that's what I did. So I could definitely be wrong. There is nothing wrong with that. And it is a calculated risk, because if I'm wrong, I will, you know, FOMO back in, no problem whatsoever. You know, money will still be made. Money will still be made. No problem whatsoever. I will hedge my 70% spot. You know, technically a short with a, you know, high leverage long on Bitcoin, just in case. Nah, I don't know. I don't believe in hedging though. I don't believe in hedging though. But then there is that. What more did we want to talk about? Yeah, so that's why I sold. That's why I sold. So Bitcoin does look a little bit weak. It is on the support. There is a falling wedge up here. It can definitely right now, you know, break up here towards upside. I'm looking at some kind of levels up here when it comes to move towards upside. This move up here towards actually yesterday, just before, I actually wanted to both long and short the market. So up here there is an expanding wedge or expanding musical instrument down here. So it was going towards downside here. I was watching also Crypto Face, you know, trading, talking in the chat, and I actually want a little bit lower down here to actually long the position, but I wanted to long it from over here towards the end up here and then short it at the top up here. So the price didn't go all the way down. It hit the 200 moving average, a very important support level on all time frames. 200 moving average, bounced off the 200 moving average. Look here how many times it bounced right now. It is going down here on 200, but it's not breaking 200. So I'm thinking there is probability for some kind of pump again over here towards upside. There is definitely some kind of resistance right up here. So if it does make, you know, if it can break, there is a resistance up here at this previous top, and then there are resistance up here, and there is a trend line up here. So somewhere in the area up here, you know, it might pull back. So we're gonna keep an eye on that. But I wanted to actually long down here, actually all the way down here. I actually failed to do that, and I wanted the short from the top up here. But it never came to the top. Once it started coming up here, it looked so weak, could not break up here, and already did a nice rejection of the 50 moving average. So I actually shorted this move towards downside, and then I shorted again up here and went up here. Didn't want to go back, so I took a 2% loss up here and went a little bit towards downside. But this is what I'm looking at right now in the short term up here. I'm looking at some kind of musical, expanding musical instrument up here. There might be some kind of falling wedge up here, give or take. I don't know how this actually looks, but you know, it might be some kind of falling wedge. It might have a nice bounce up here, but I'm still looking at this support level up here and still looking at breakout. So it needs to do some nice fantastic moves up here towards the upside for me to become, you know, bullish again, and you know, it's not doing that yet. So I'm kind of waiting a little bit. I'm seeing some kind of indications that this might you know, it might not break, you know, towards upside, but you know, if it does that, you know, I'm gonna turn bullish and start buying, you know, my spots, start trading long and so forth. But the way I see it right now, any kind of move towards upside, you know, can be shorted up here. So that's my thing when it comes to trading as well. I'm looking to short up here, you know, resistance at the top over here towards the downside, or this resistance up here, or even the 50 moving average if it comes that far. So we're gonna see that. Yes, and so that's what's happening right now. So a lot of people are, you know, a little bit bullish. It has, you know, probability to go towards the upside. It can also drop right down. I don't know. So we're gonna see how this actually plays out. On the chart, there is no longer a 100 moving average on the chart. We got a 10 moving average, we got a 10 moving average, 20 moving average, 50 moving average, and 200 moving average. I had the 100 moving average. And guys, when it comes to moving averages, which moving averages should you use? 9, 25, 22, 33 or 32 or 55 or 100 or 200 or 50 or 10. I don't care. You do what you want to do, I do what I want to do, right? But when it comes to the moving averages that I use, 10, 20, 50, and 200, they are based on some kind of human psychology. They're not based on some kind of, you know, numbers from nature, you know, 55, 32, whatever, 21, 9. They are based on, you know, human psychology number. Like everybody uses 50 and 200. It doesn't matter what kind of hedge fund, you know, TV, you know, trader you're looking at. They will always be looking at 50 and 200 moving average. Very important moving average. Fast moving average, 20 moving average, and 10 moving average has been respected very well. I also used to use 100 moving average. Now the problem with 100 moving average, in the 6 years that I've been doing TI, that I've been watching the chart, I always been using, you know, 10, 20. I actually been using other numbers in between, but until I figure out, you know, this is wrong. But the 100 MA, 100 moving average, I cannot remember last time that I used 100 moving average as some kind of resistance or a support level. And that's exactly what moving averages are. Support levels and resistance levels. You break below, you break the support. You break above, you break the resistance. But I cannot remember last time I used 100 moving average for anything. Literally anything. It looks nice on the charts and kind of fills the gap between the 50 and the 200 moving average over here, whatever that is, right? It kind of fills nice the gap, so you can see very nice lines, you know, curving towards upside. And by some kind of you know, theory, you know, 0 plus 10 is you know, 10 and 10, and then 0 plus 10 is 20. Sorry, 0 plus 0 10, and then you got 10 plus 10 is 20, and then 20 plus 10 is 30 plus 20. I don't know, doesn't matter. Some math, man, math, doesn't matter. 10, 20, 50. It always looks nice on the chart, and you know, 100 moving average does, you know, complement that. But I've never used 100 moving average. Literally never used 100 moving for anything. I cannot remember last time I used 100 moving average. Sometimes it does, you know, acts as a support and resistance line, but the cases for these things is so rare that I really don't see any use. So I was thinking, like, you know what, I'm just gonna remove it from my chart. I don't want to have it on my chart. I never look at it. It's an annoying line on the chart. So that's a big thing that's changed on my TI. We don't have any 100 moving average, you know, anymore. Sell Shiba just a few minutes before the pump was, yeah. Constellation and pump. When will you buy back in if you drop? I just told you when I buy back. It needs to break certain, it needs to show bullishness up here on the chart. It needs to show bullishness up here on the chart. So there is this line up here that is very, very nice. So I think we need to get up above this line up here. Might be resistance, and there is a channel over here as well at the top. Give or take, something like this. Maybe a little bit down here. Maybe it's some kind of... Let me see if you can make a channel out of this thing over here. Can you make a channel? It's a nice channel. Maybe there's some kind of channel. So it needs to get back in the channel. It needs to do something. And I'll consider myself, you know, right if this trend line over here starts breaking on downside over here. I'm gonna give it as much room as I can, maybe even this line over here. So if he start going down over here and start breaking the trend over here, I'm already considering myself right that it did do. And then if you break down here, you know, 22.8 or something like that, this might have an even bigger move towards downside. If this happens, I'm of course already start thinking about buying the dip and whatnot. And if it goes even lower, I'm gonna, you know, think of buying the dip. But you know, what's gonna happen next after that, I don't know. It's just a, you know, experiment with my money. It's true, usually 50 can replace 100. Yeah, 50, like 100 doesn't work. 50 is hugely important. You don't understand how often I use 50 moving average for support and resistance. Right now, we are sitting on the 50 moving average on the 4 hourly. On the 1 hourly, we are sitting on the 200 moving average. 200 moving average, 50 is super important. 20 and 10 moving average, very, very important, especially for the fast movement on small time frames. Hugely important. 100 moving average. Nothing, zero things. I don't see any usage of 100 moving average. Literally no usage of 100 moving average. I don't remember last time I used 100 moving average. I don't remember last time 100 moving average. How long have you been streaming? 1 hour. That's a long time for being streaming. Not use EMAS, you're missing out big time. No, if you're using EMAS, you're getting scammed. EMAS are a scam, Fibonacci are a scam, volume profile is a scam. What more is a scam? Yeah, a moving average is, you know, 55 moving average, 21 moving average, you know, these kind of moving, they are a scam. What more is a scam? I don't know, there's probably other things that are scam as well. But yeah, the EMAS and Fibonacci and logarithmic chart is a scam as well. I didn't know that, but right now I know because of Mladen, you know. Channels are a scam. No, channels are good. Channels are good. But logarithmic chart is a scam. Emotional moving average is a scam. Fibonacci is a scam. Volume profile is not a scam, but there is better things to do than volume profile. Anything Fibonacci is a scam. Anything Fibonacci is a scam. That said, people using Fibonacci, EMAS, you know, logarithmic chart stuff, they tend to, you know, they can make money. I'm just saying that it's a scam because people, you know, lose important support levels and they think maybe they are above support levels and so forth, so forth. I like log chart. Don't make me change back to log chart, man. I just changed to the regular chart. I just started believing in the regular chart that it's not a scam, and then you're like, I like log chart. Don't do that to me, man. I'm already emotional on the big time frames. Yeah, of course. You gotta look at it in the big time frames. But I'm coming to terms that not even big time frames should be looking at the log chart, because yeah, that doesn't matter. So I think it's a scam, and the reason I think it's a scam, let me explain to you my direction when it comes to these scams, when it comes to technical analysis, and we can talk about risk management just after that, and I also tell you more about more scams. So the reason I think, for example, EMAs are a scam, because, you know, emotional moving average, it suddenly, you know, reacts faster to the price for whatever reason, or Fibonacci is a scam, you know, support and resistance lines, right? Moving towards downside. So the reason I think it's a scam, I believe that whoever is trying to push this narrative that emotional moving averages or Fibonacci is the real thing, I don't know how they managed to do that. Maybe some bad traders figure out, you know, let's use Fibonacci's for whatever reason. Maybe it comes back from the long time. I don't know history about that. But it's a scam in a way that it's not real support. It's not real support and resistance levels. When it comes to TI, everything is about momentum, support levels, and real support and resistance levels. So when you have any kind of chart, let's go a little bit higher time frames up here so we can see this nicer. We have what is called a real support, and we have what is called a real support and resistance level. So on the bottom down here, you will see that we have a support down here at 16.2. It is a real support level. These are closes where the price actually closes. These are legit support levels. Everybody sees these are very, very important support levels. These are what we call very important support levels and resistance levels as well, right? The wicks are not horizontal. Oftentimes people will put it on the wicks, and the wicks are not horizontal support and resistance levels because they often overshoot support and resistance levels. So when price will go towards some kind of resistance, there might be a lot of bullishness or bearishness. It might overshoot or undershoot those levels, and the wicks are not actually you know, really what sets these horizontal levels. What sets these horizontal levels, and when price kind of stabilize a little bit, manage to close or not above, you know, pushes back, you know, it tries to play around the support and resistance levels, and, you know, manage this, you know, to create this barrier, right? So it's not impulsive move that creates these horizontal levels, it's the horizontal lines. Now the impulsive moves are trend lines. I always use wicks, maybe sometimes even the bodies, like Mladen says, but I use mostly bodies to tell me that, you know, there is some kind of, you know, confirmation of the trend line or something like that, right? So these are what we would call real support levels or real resistance level up here at the top, right? These are very, very real resistance level. You can see here we came just shy of that. We didn't close above that. We closed just below that, and then, you know, we continue breaking. But, you know, it's a real support and resistance level. Now, what is not real support and resistance levels is Fibonacci. Now, I don't have Fibonacci up here. Where is my Fibonacci? My Fibonacci is a little bit different. Where is the Fibonacci levels? Yeah, my Fibonacci is a little bit different. Let's just change up here because can we just say template, save as my own, so I don't have to do this 2 times. Okay, so we got 2 templates. Apply default. So this is, you know, Fibonacci levels 1 to 0, whatever, right? Pullbacks levels up here. So people will use these pullback levels 0, 20, right? These Fibonacci levels as some kind of support levels on the chart. Now the problem with this over here is that you are using some random numbers from nature. I mean, it's not random numbers. Nature do tend to use these things, right? Human psychology don't tend to use, you know, 0.387 or 0.64, whatever, right? They don't. We tend to like round numbers: 1, 10, 20, 100, you know, 300, you know, 0.3, 0.4. We don't like 0.348, you know. 0.6, we like 0.5, right? We like, you know, human psychology likes round numbers, and these levels, you know, bounce off of very important round numbers. Now, people use this Fibonacci retracement for some kind of support levels, and they always, I mean, there is always so many support levels there, so it always bounces or very close to these levels towards upside. But there is a more, what am I gonna say? There is a more, what am I gonna say? There is a more legit way. There are more right lines to use for support levels. Moving averages, last price over next, you know, average price over a certain amount of days. You know, these are what I would call real support and resistance levels. So you don't have to have any kind of pullback or any kind of Fibonacci levels over here. You don't have any kind of Fibonacci levels because they are what I consider these as a fake support and resistance levels, and they often tend to be overshoot or undershoot, or maybe sometimes they get hit on the dollar and whatnot, right? But they are not that correct all the time. But the moving averages do tend to play out very well. I mean, the price tend to go a little bit above them, a little bit below them, but do tend to try to break these support and resistance lines. You don't see, I don't see often price. I cannot say that I see often price because the Fibonacci levels I don't actually watch, but there is no reason to use the Fibonacci levels because we already have support and resistance levels made by the chart. We got a horizontal levels over here. We got a, you know, moving average levels down here. You know, we already got the zones. There is already a way to you know, find real support levels and resistance levels without actually using Fibonacci's. That's why I think it's a scam. I think it's a scam in a way that they're trying to get you to use, you know, Fibonacci's to find support levels, which are not actually real support levels. So you will overshoot your support, you will undershoot, you will miss the targets, you will have short stop losses, you know, you will get stopped out all the time. So I think that, you know, these Fibonacci levels are a scam because they are not real support and resistance lines. It's imaginary numbers, and right now people are pulling their support and resistance level, something like this over here, and right now we have this move up here, and then it goes a little bit higher up here there, and of course they pulled a little bit back up there as well. I mean, this is all normal, right? But they kind of changes. And then, you know, which bottom are you gonna use? Are you gonna use this bottom over here, this bottom over here, this bottom over here? Like, which bottom are you gonna use? Like, it could be a little bit you know, undecisive from where it's gonna start. Is the retracement gonna be down here as well, because this is a pullback over here, right? Some kind of retracement over here, all this boom, big move. So there could be it could be very undecisive where you pull the Fibonacci levels, but there is no undecisiveness on the moving averages. They are always the same. It doesn't matter how you measure the chart. Moving averages are always the same. They move slowly over the price. You don't have to think where to pull your Fibonacci levels, support lines. It just works. It just works. No looking at fibs below, important, am I? But if tracing fibs, now all the fib boys comes out, you know, defending the fibs. So there is that. Guys, it's been like 1 hour and 10 minutes. I'm tired. I gotta go do stuff. Bitcoin is not yet below the support, so it's all good. If something happens, you know, I'm gonna keep you informed. I thought to talk about a little bit about risk management as well, but you know, I've been you know talking for over an hour, so you know, tired. I'm gonna do something else. It's Saturday, you know, I cannot be sitting here and on my PC all day long. I wanna trade, guys. I wanna trade. I need to find a trade. So there is that, guys. Fibonacci is a scam. Emails are a scam, same way. You know. Yeah, let's use like a price follows and then suddenly, you know, goes up. Like it goes faster than the moving averages. Let's use the 50 moving average. Let's use the 20 moving average. And then add MA. And then you're gonna use 20. So the red line is the emotional moving average, and the blue line is the we can make it white line. The white line is the normal moving average. So you get a 20. The white line is normal, but the emotional is down here. So you can look at the emotional moving average, say it does you know hit the price, but this is very small. Let's go up here on the 20. Let's go to 200 moving average, and let's go up here to the 200 moving average, and you'll see the difference is quite large. So people, you know, might think that which one is, yeah, this is the regular. So people might think that, you know, support levels at 21.2. So the price often, you know, might come down there. It might even bounce off here, but it might be just that, you know, the real is below them. So they put, you know, their buys up here, they buy, and then it goes lower down here, and then they sell because they, you know, overshoot and stuff like that. I think the emotional moving averages, you know, is a scam to get you to miss the targets, miss the real support and resistance lines. Till about fun. Enjoy the run. Anyways, thanks for stopping by, guys. I'm done. By the way, again, 70% sell is not a panic sell. It's calculated sell, and I'm gonna definitely FOMO in if this goes higher. But you know, it's calculated sell. It's not a panic sell. Okay, guys, see you around. Bye bye.